Hare Krishna. So Krishna is describing his opulences. Just imagine Krishna himself speaking about himself from his own lotus mouth. We are so fortunate to hear directly from Krishna about his own opulences. So let's continue and let's hear more about his opulences in Shloka number 34. mṛtyuḥ sarva-haraś cāham udbhavaś bhaviṣyatām kīrtiḥ śrīr nārīṇāṁ smṛtir medhā dhṛtiḥ kṣamā. So here Krishna is saying, mṛtyuḥ sarva-haraś aham. Aham, I am. Sarva-haraś mṛtyuḥ, I am all-devouring death. And then he says, udbhavaś bhaviṣyatām, I am the generating principle of all that is yet to be. And then he says, nārīṇāṁ, among women, I am kīrtiḥ, that is fame. Śrīr, fortune, vāk, fine speech. And smṛtir, memory. Medhā, intelligence. dhṛtiḥ, steadfastness. And kṣamā, patience. So Krishna is actually telling here that all these great things that you see around, oh Arjuna, it's me. They are my representatives. This is what Krishna is saying here. Let's try to go deeper into this verse. Here it is said, as soon as man is born, he dies at every moment. Thus, death is devouring every living entity at every moment, but the last stroke is called death itself. That death is Krishna. This is a very, very important point and a very, very important subject to meditate on every single day. Here it's very clear that as soon as we take birth, what's happening? Every tick in the clock is actually taking us closer and closer and closer to what? To death. But still, when we complete 1 year and we call it as birthday, what do? Happy birthday to you. Now, how much happy it is? Okay, I'm not saying don't celebrate birthdays, but then the point is analysis that we're doing now. So what is happy about it? What are we getting close to? We're getting close to death. A question was asked by Yamaraj to Yudhishthir Maharaj. So this comes in Mahabharat Vana Parva. And for that, what was the question by the way? The question was, what is the most wonderful thing that you see in this world? Yamaraj is asking. And here Yudhishthira Maharaj is answering. Very, very beautifully he says, ahanya ahani bhutani gacchantiha yamalayam sheshaha stavaram icchanti kim ascharyam atha param. He says, ahani bhutani gacchantiha yamalayam. Hundreds and thousands of living entities are meeting death. And they're going to which place? They're going to Yamaraj's Śloka. And every moment this is happening. But what is the most wonderful thing? Ascharyam, kim ascharyam? What is the most wonderful thing? Sheshaha sthavaram icchanti kim ascharyam athaparam. But the ones who are remaining still, they think that no, I'll not die. I'll not die. And in this way, they don't prepare for death. So this point is very important to note. There are people around us dying. Our time will also come. As soon as we have taken birth, as soon as the manufacturing date was decided, the expiry date was stamped on all of us. But the only thing is, the only suspense that we have in our life is that what is this expiry date all about? When is it? This is the suspense. And guess what? When the suspense gets opened? Only when we die. Other people will get to know what was the suspense, but we will not. So this is a very important thing to meditate on. Every moment I'm going towards death, am I preparing myself or not? Entire life is a preparation and death is the final examination. So am I ready to give that final exam? Will I pass that exam is a question. And all the devotees who are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra every single day, they are actually preparing for the final exam. And the ones who are not chanting, the ones who are just living a jolly life thinking, yes, it's all about this life, with this body everything will end, such people are going to have tough time. They're not going to pass the exam, they're going to utterly fail and enter, or I should say, they will be pushed into the womb of another mother in this world and again have to suffer in the cycle of birth, death, old age and disease. So here Krishna is saying that final death that is there, which devours everything in the person's life, it's me. So it's Krishna. So everyone will meet death, but devotees will meet Krishna and the materialists will meet death. This is what is the difference. And here Krishna says, udbhavaś bhaviṣyatām. So all the living entities undergo 6 basic changes. So what are the 6 basic changes? First, they take birth, they are born, they grow, they remain for some time, they reproduce some byproducts, they dwindle and finally vanquish. So birth and finally death, and in between we have got 4 other stages or phases of life. So here it is said that of these the first is deliverance from the womb, and that is Krishna. The first generation is the beginning of all future activities. So birth, if there is no birth, there is no question of any other changes in life. So that birth or that generation aspect which is there, Krishna is saying it's me. And now here Krishna is describing about various opulences that people have in this world. So all the wonderful qualities that we see in this world, in Sanskrit, all of them, most of them I should say, are categorized as feminine. So here it is said, the 7 opulences listed, fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience are considered feminine. If a person possesses all of them or some of them, he becomes glorious. And it's but obvious. Naturally, people get attracted to such people who have all these opulences. Let's see one by one the opulences which are given. If a man is famous as a righteous man, that makes him glorious. Sanskrit is a perfect language and is therefore very glorious. So what is kīrtiḥ? Kīrtiḥ means fame. Fame because of what? People can become famous anyways. You murder a person, you become famous. But here we are not talking about that. Krishna is saying, I am kīrtiḥ, I am fame. Which sort of fame? The fame because of good qualities like religiosity. And then he continues, he says, śrīr. Śrīr means wealth. Wealth where? Nowadays wealth we can get in a bad way also, in a negative way also. So Krishna is not talking about that. Krishna is talking about wealth in the areas of dharma, artha and kāma. Properly, religiously following the shastra, properly earning the wealth. Krishna is saying, it's me. And then the next one is vāk. Vāk means fine speech, cultured language which can express anything. So that is vāk. Again, vāk can be of many types, but here we are talking about cultured language which can express anything very, very properly. And then Krishna is saying here, if after studying one can remember a subject matter, he is gifted with a good memory or smṛtir. Now many times when we are able to remember some shloka or some formula or whatever, so there is no question of being proud. Why? Because here Krishna is saying that that memory that the person has, it's me. So in this way, by understanding the opulences of Krishna, we obviously glorify Krishna, and along with that we also become humble that I don't possess anything for myself. And then here it is given, ability not only to read many books on different subject matters, but to understand them and apply them when necessary is intelligence, another opulence. So many times the one who is able to remember a lot of things, people say that he is very intelligent. But that's not the case. Knowing things is one part, but applying it at the right time when it is needed, that is called as intelligence. Because intelligence means the person is able to differentiate between what is right, what is wrong, and implement accordingly to live a very holistic, righteous life. So that is called as intelligence here, medhā. And the ability to overcome unsteadiness is called firmness or steadfastness, dhṛtiḥ. So whenever there is a lot of disturbance in life, and when we see that person is very determined and he just comes above all of that, that is actually steadfastness, that is dhṛtiḥ, and Krishna is saying it's me. And finally the last one, When one is fully qualified yet is humble and gentle, and when one is able to keep his balance both in sorrow and in the ecstasy of joy, he has the opulence called patience, kṣamā. Normally, what do we feel? Kṣamā, patience we need when we are going through tough phase of life, sorrows. But actually, when good things are happening in our life, even at that time we need to have patience. Because when good things are happening in our life, we might just jump to the seventh cloud. But then, to remain equipoised in life, both in sorrow and in happiness, that is actually called as having patience, equipoised. So this is a very important quality that is given here. And also a person who is humble even after having all the good qualities, such a person is glorified very, very nicely. He is compared to a tree full of fruits. A tree which is full of fruits will always bend, but a tree without fruits will always stand straight. So one who is having good qualities, he'll always remain humble, and the one who is not having good qualities will always be proud of nothing. So in this way, Krishna has described some of the wonderful opulences. Let's continue this theme and see a few more opulences of Krishna in next video. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,